Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to be turning a diamond painting pen using a blank I poured. This is a Halloween themed blank. It's got purple and green glitter, as well as pine cones, and a whole lot of glow in the dark. I don't know what shape I'm going to turn it quite yet. Let's start turning and see what it looks like. As you can see, sometimes the bits just aren't cutting anymore, and you gotta change them out. I find that when you do a lot of hybrids, they tend to dull a lot faster. If I'm just doing straight acrylics non-stop, they don't dull as bad or as quickly. I'm going to be replacing it with Ufotol. And you can see the difference when I start to cut with a fresh bit compared to what I was just a second ago. I think I'm going to do a illusion cut on this one. I think it'll look real good, and it won't deter from the interestingness of all of the pine cones that are in this one. Okay, then I've got it turned basically to shape. Before I sand it, I'm going to go through with a little bit of thin CA, and I'm going to hit any of the pine cones that are on the surface. This just stabilizes them all so they all sand at the same rate. And these are stabilized pine cones that I stabilized myself. So it's not necessary, but the thin also fills in all of the little voids that happen during casting, or that I brought up due to seeds coming out of the pine cones. Because no matter what kind of pine cone you get, there's usually a couple seeds left in them. Hit it with a little accelerator. As you can see, that accelerator really will make it expand in some of the places. I'm going to go back with my round tool and I'm going to clean up all of those high spots now that they've bubbled up. And now on to sanding. Okay, that's pretty good. Now it's time for CA finish. And as usual, I will start with 2 coats of thin CA and an extra little bit in the little creases here. And I'll show you how I do that first. I always just take and roll up the blue towel or paper towels. Viva works good if you don't have blue shop towels. Some of the other Bounties and the other paper towels don't seem to work as well. They'll actually start the curing process of the super glue a lot sooner. With pine cones, they can be a little bit difficult to do a really good CA finish on. If you want flawless coverage and you don't want any texture at all, it can be really difficult. And I take the edge of my paper towel and I just get right in the little lines. Works for the lines. The beads work, it does pretty well on beads too. But beads, I usually like to take the CA right up to the edge and just kind of use the dry edge, take off any excess as I go over a bead. And just snip off the used end and apply a second coat. I don't use the activator on the thin CA. Dries fast enough as it is. Now I'm going to move on to a medium, and this is just the stick fast CA glue. Rockler I think carries it. Amazon, Pen Kit Small, anywhere really that carries CA will carry this kind. The first couple coats you're just trying to get a good coverage. I alternate one side then the other. And I'm going to stop it here and take a look. This one doesn't seem to need it too much. But what I do is, if I have a lot of these little voids, like you can see where the seeds were here. If I have a lot of those, or the thin CA didn't fill those in, what I'll do is, I'll take the CA, and I'll get myself a little line of it, like that. And I'll spin the lathe by hand, and I'll apply it real slow like this, just a little bit, and you'll know when you run out of time, because it'll start to stick and pull the paper towel. And then after I do that, I'll hit it with the activator to dry it. Gives a nice thicker coat, and it not spinning as fast allows the CA to fully sit into the little pits and the little holes. It's a big help when you're doing them. I do it on my ink pens too if it has, if I'm doing pine cones on an ink pen. Same thing works. Just get a line of it. Turn your lathe by hand real slow. I mean, I suppose you could actually turn the speed of your lathe down real good for this and try it that way. See, a lot of times if you take too long, like I did there, and I let it set up too much, you'll get paper towel. Now I got to sand that off before I go any farther. So I'm going to come in with some wet 400 grit sandpaper. I never touch a CA finish with anything less than 400. 240, 220, 320. It's too rough. You're just putting extra scratches that you don't need in. CA is a softer kind of finish when you're first doing it. It doesn't need all that extra scratches already in it. Okay. So I've cleaned up my little mistake there. We're going to continue on low speed. The rest of the coat's finish. This will be a coat of thin again, fill in any of those scratches I just made. Now I gotta get a new paper towel. Roll it up. And this process to fix it is the same as if you would have put sanded through your finish. Now we're going to come in with the thick or the medium again. Remember, new piece after every swipe. Hit it with the activator. And continue for as many coats as you feel necessary. Okay. So a couple little rough spots that I put in right around here. So we're gonna sand with the 400 and go through our grits all the way to 2000. Remember, be very gentle sanding the tops of these, because these always sand faster than anywhere else. So be gentle. You're just trying to flatten your finish so that the shine won't have a wave to it. A lot of times, no matter what you do, unless you're going to put 30 coats of CA, you're going to get a little wave on pine cones and even just wooden hybrids. Just seems to be the way they are. Couple little swipes. $800. $1,000 grit. $2,000 grit. I am going to use Dr. Kirk's Micro Magic. I find it to be a whole lot faster and does an excellent job over using micro mesh or Zona. Still use my buffer on them even after I do Micro Magic, but that's just to bring an extra level of shine that a white diamond wheel will bring that you just can't get any other way. And the microcrystalline wax that is used in this Micro Magic is excellent at getting into the nooks and crannies, way better than a Zona sandpaper, and especially better than those little micro mesh pads. I've burnt lots and lots of micro mesh trying to get little details like this shiny using those. I like to turn up my speed about a quarter of the way on my highest gear, and it works exceptionally well with this Micro Magic. And remember, don't press too hard or force it too much. Even when you're sanding with just paper towel, even if you've gone all the way through all your grits, that friction's still enough to burn your paper towel and burn your work. And fixing a burnt finish is a lot harder than fixing a dull finish. And this is the last step of the micro magic. Goes so much faster than using the sandpapers with 5 different, 6 different, however many different grits. I'm gonna find a clean piece and we'll buff it up to its finished polish. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. And using a hard light source like my light that I have behind my lathe here, I can see if I missed anywhere in particular. Like I said, I'm going to go back and buff this on my white diamond buffing wheel. Take out any of the micro scratches that are left from the paper towel. Before I do that, let's take a look at how it glows after it's turned. This is just a black light I use for curing UV resin. And there it is. Thanks for watching.